Okay, for one of my next projects, I just got from Craigslist, I found a whole stack of free pallets, really good condition. So actually the only reason I only got this amount is that's all I could fit in my F-150. So I may actually go back and get more, but for now, I've got enough pallets that I can make myself a 2-bin composter. So I'm going to be setting that up. Okay, and I'm not going to insult your intelligence by doing a step-by-step on how to put together some pallets, but basically, this is a zero-cost project. I've got a couple of shelf brackets down in the basement, other things you may find in the basement, some angle irons, and these aren't even like angle irons, these are for doing electrical work, I think. Some of these straps, some type of electrical strap, but I can use them to fasten the pallets together. A couple of old hinges hanging around, and I actually have a nice decorative door pull that I can use. Also, this I guess is for doing something with floor joists or ceiling joists, but it's also a right angle, so I could use that if I wanted to hold them together. So basically, and also, of course, we got zip ties. So, the thought here is that you get some pallets for free. You've got some hardware hanging around that you can use, and for free you can set yourself up some compost bins. So I'll be back shortly and show you some more. Okay, first corner is up. I decided to use, I have some extra landscape fabric, or hardware wire, not landscape fabric, excuse me, hardware wire around. So just on a whim, I decided I was going to cover the inside with that. That'll just keep out the big critters and also keep the compost inside the bin, but still allow it to get plenty of oxygen for aeration. So I, for the first corner, just put one of my angle brackets, and I'll do that basically the top corners just to structure it. It's going to be a double compost bin, and then put the rest together with angle brackets or whatever I have. And that'll be that. So I'll show you the final product as soon as I finish it. Okay, second wall's up. Now this is the middle wall, so I put landscape fabric, or excuse me, hardware fabric on both sides. Now, the point is here, this is a no-cost project, so I happen to have some extra hardware fabric from when I was doing the raised gardens. If you don't, it's not necessary. You don't need to have it. Or you can use something else. You could use chicken wire if you got some of that. Even that plastic fencing, anything basically would work. You want to have air circulation, but it's also a good idea to keep out the big critters if you can. Probably nothing's going to stop them if they really want to get in. And ultimately, who cares? They got to eat too. Okay, haven't put the doors on yet, but here are the 2 bins up. I turned over the soil in the first one because I actually have some material that I'm going to throw in this first one. Then I'll also turn up the soil in the second one and start that off. But I'll initially put some stuff in here. And I'm probably going to do the doors another day, like next weekend, because it's late Sunday afternoon and I have to go back to the job tomorrow. But semi-completed project. Now for the doors, I'm going to make them very light and very simple. I'm not going to use, I've seen on a lot of other videos, people actually used a pallet for the door, and you absolutely can do that. I think I'm going to take some wood and some hardware cloth and just make a lighter door and see if that works. Put a latch on the top and the bottom. And if it doesn't work, I can always take a pallet and make a heavier door. So there you have it. Okay, I've hung the doors, and now I'm going to finish up. Now on the doors, what I did is I actually cut the pallet off about 6 inches or so, because you need to have some clearance for the ground for the doors to open, otherwise they're going to just stick on the ground. So what I did is I just, I got to trim that a little bit, but I just cut it. And then I put down a piece of 2x6, which the doors can just rest on when they close. And then, in keeping with this being a no-cost project, I happen to have these 2 garage equipment hooks hanging around. And So I put them down, and then I've got this decorative ox yoke that was sitting in the garage in the house that we bought, and it is perfect. It actually holds it close, holds it, closed very tightly. So now what I'm going to do today is I've cut 2 more pieces of hardware fabric, and I'm going to staple them to the inside of the doors, and then it's going to be done. I can just continue to throw things in here and it'll compost. I think what I'm going to do actually today when I finish the doors, I'm going to move everything from this bin over to this bin and then just leave this bin alone to do its thing, and then just start filling this bin with lawn trimmings and leftover veggies and everything like that. So there you have it. I'll be back in a minute with the final product. And here we have it, project completed. A couple of lessons learned. Number one, since I'm just starting out at this new location and started out with basically no tools, one thing I'm lacking is a pitchfork. So I've been on the lookout for a pitchfork, which you do need if you have big composting bins to stir everything up and move stuff if you need to. Went to the hardware store, and a new pitchfork is $45, and it wasn't even like it was a high quality looking pitchfork. It had a plastic handle. I have no problem paying money for quality tools, but that wasn't it. So I'll be looking through tag sales for used garden equipment, see if I can find myself a nice wood handled pitchfork. Another lesson learned is put on your hardware fabric before you assemble the thing. It was a little bit of a pain hooking the hardware fabric onto the doors, but got it done. So as you can see, I have it on the inside. It just overlapped a little bit on the outside, and then I moved everything over to one bin for now. I just left a little bit in the bottom of this one just to keep the weeds down, and I'll just start filling that one up. So 2 bin composter, big and free. Everything was with materials I had on hand. Now, I've seen a million ways to do these, so you just look and see what you have on hand. I've seen people put them together with wire ties, regular wire. I had these angle bracket, these shelf brackets hanging around, so that's what I used. You can pretty much use anything. You could even use some scrap wood, screw in blocks of scrap wood on the side to hold it together. So there is no limit to the ways you can put one of these together. As I said, for the doors, cut the pallet about 6 inches, and then I just moved one board. So I cut the pallet, and then I moved one of the inside boards down, cut it about 6 inches to give you a little bit of ground clearance. I just used a 2x6 piece on the bottom there for the doors to rest on, and then latching mechanism. Your imagination is the limit. You can use anything you want. There's no right or wrong way to do this, as long as they stay together and hold the stuff inside. Hope you enjoyed this, and thank you very much for watching.